Right, let's get started. There's two parts to Power BI. Number one, Power BI Desktop. That's over on the left-hand side. This is a piece of software that is downloaded to your computer and you can access whether you're connected to a network or not. This is where we're going to focus most of our time and effort, as it's where we connect to our datasets and clean them, build calculations, and create beautiful, insightful art with our visualizations. The number two on the right-hand side is the Power BI Service or Power BI Online. Once we've created our reports in Power BI Desktop, then we can load them to the Power BI Service, which is like a great big filing system in the sky of reports that are held online. And the best bit, anyone can access your reports as long as, firstly, you've given them access to them, secondly, they've got an internet connection, and thirdly, you and they have at least a Power BI Pro subscription. Now, Power BI can also be divided into 4 elements. 3 of them are in Power BI Desktop, while the 4th is the Power BI Service. The first 3 elements that are in Power BI Desktop are called Power Query, and this is where we connect Power BI Desktop to external datasets. After all, you can't do any summarizing of data without datasets, so start here. Whether the datasets are held in an Excel file in OneDrive, a text file on SharePoint, an email inbox on Microsoft Exchange, a PDF on a hard drive, or you're connecting to a website, a data warehouse, an SQL server, or any of about 1,000 other connections, you'll start here to find the data. You'll then transform the data, anything from a slight dust off to a honking dirty oven deep clean, to get the data in shape for the next section. Once you've connected to your dataset, then you get to create a data model. Fancy term that basically means that you get all the datasets you need to do the analysis that you fancy, and then you relate them together so that they form a nice, tidy, big dataset. Once you've got your dataset together, then you can start creating calculations, summarizing totals of your datasets. Some calculations will be really ridiculously easy. Others, well, they'll go the other way. Up in the third position, we have the report view. This is where we create that insightful art we were talking about. Rather more simply, it's just about choosing a graph that you like the look of from a list and then filling it with helpful fields of information from our nicely curated data model. And then finally, success! You've created a storming report chock full of useful tidbits and you want to share your hard work with others. No problem. Pop it on the service, and here, anyone with an internet connection and a pro subscription can have a rummage around your report. So let's just have a quick look at each of these stages just in a touch more detail. So element number 1, Power Query. Power Query is just the most brilliant tool. It's also in Excel if you're interested. Just go to the Data tab and then Get Data and Transform. And it is brilliant because it quickly connects Power BI to data, whether it's held in a file storage system, a piece of software, or a data warehouse. You're not limited to analysing a single dataset either, by the way, in the way that you sort of are in Excel. For example, when you can only really connect a pivot table to a single dataset. No, you're able to connect to lots of different datasets and then bring them together. More of that later. It then transforms data from unhelpful, dirty datasets. So datasets that are based on rows rather than columns, that have loads of unhelpful columns or rows that we don't need, that aren't filtered, that could use some extra calculations and all that sort of stuff, to nice, clean, easy to use datasets that can then be used in analysis. Perhaps the best bit about Power Query though is that this cleaning and transformation process can be automated. This happens by recording the steps you command Power Query to do. You give Power Query a list of commands for one dataset, and then the next day or week or month, when you get an updated version of that dataset, then Power Query remembers what to do with it and cleans it and transforms it for you. Now, admittedly, if you're connecting to datasets held in Oracle or a data warehouse, you may not need to do the cleaning and transforming part. If, on the other hand, you're planning to use Power BI to create reports from Excel spreadsheets, which is what we're doing in this course, then that automated transformation capability is worth an incredible amount of time on a daily, weekly, or annual basis. Next, element number 2, the data model. The data model is all about taking the various tables and datasets that we've attached to Power Query and then connecting them together so that they act like one big dataset. We do that by creating relationships between the various datasets so that Power BI knows which rows in which datasets go together. Once we've connected the datasets together, then we can start expanding it if we want to. We can do that through creating new columns in our datasets. We can also create these bespoke calculations called measures, and these are effectively totals at the bottom of a dataset, summing or counting value columns, counting the amount of rows in a table, but we can also ask Power BI with our measures to only include certain rows of our dataset. Once we've got our data model looking sound, then we'll move on to the report view, which is element number 3. The report view is where we actually put the end report together, picking and choosing the appropriate graphs, charts that we can then populate with columns or fields of data to get some insights and tell an analytical story. This part of the report is where we summarize all the fields and see what there is to look into further. Finally, once you've got a report that does its job, whether that's analysis, reconciliation, journal creation, or anything else that you can think of, then you can pop it up online. That means that you can share reports created in Power BI Desktop so that you can access it pretty much anywhere in the world there's a network connection. And if your company has a Power BI Pro subscription, you can then share that information with someone else. You can also restrict access to parts of the report if you want to, so that report readers can only see the bits of the report online that you would like them to access. You can take workload off the shoulders of your staff by sorting out automated refreshing, which means that as long as you can schedule an initial Excel report out of a base system, you can create a report that literally refreshes itself from start to finish, that looks great, that is used and trusted, and that requires literally no input from you once the initial report has finished being built. After that, you can set up apps that are like folders of reports that can then be organized into a particular type and even dashboards so that you can take the best bits of different reports. Right, so after that, that's your lot. Those are your 4 elements, and it might sound like a lot, or it may sound really straightforward, but something great about Power BI is that even just starting to get an idea of how it works and what you can do with it, just a basic report, can really make a difference to you as an individual and to your teams. So, before we start getting our glasses out, having a look at Power BI, there's a great template that we can use as a starting template for understanding how to put together a report in Power BI. We start off in Power BI Desktop, connecting datasets to bring data into our Power BI file using Power Query. If the datasets need cleaning to turn them into nice tables ready to be used, then we can also do that in Power Query. Next is the data model. We connect our datasets together so that we can use them as if they were one big dataset. Here we can also create new calculated columns and totals calculations if we want to that are called measures. Third, once we're happy with our data model, we can move to the report view, bringing visuals into our report that we can populate with clean data from our data model. And finally, with a finished report, or alternatively a report that we would like someone else to review, we can put it on the Power BI service, where we can access it anywhere with an internet connection. Now in the next video, we're going to get into Power BI and actually have a look at how each of these stages look so that we can put the theory from this lesson into practice.